What about it? Some were suggesting Hyperloop is a new version of Concorde. Do you agree?
Well, I mean, no. Because
Why not?
well, the Concorde wasn't successful, right?
No.
So I would like to think that we are more successful than the Concorde.
But you only think about the logic, it's same. And it's traveling at a supersonic speed.
Correct. I mean, actually, we're subsonic, so we are right at the barrier of sound. You know, we're inside the structure, so we need to avoid to break the sound barrier, which is why we're limited to 760 miles per hour, so 1,220 kilometers an hour at the speed of sound. So basically, as fast as a bullet.
The failure of Concorde has something to do, first of all, with the legal framework. They are not being allowed by the policy then to run at a supersonic speed. Secondly, it has a lot to do with the capability of profitability.
You actually bring a great point. So one of the biggest problems that we have in public transportation is that there's no rail line, no metro that's profitable. So they're all relying heavily on government subsidies, on tax money. As an example, the Metro of New York loses $2.2 billion a year. Hyperloop uses alternative energy. So we're basically using solar, wind, kinetic energy through regenerative braking, and depending on the climate, even geothermal, to produce more energy than we're actually using. So our operational costs are very, very low. The difference between selling high-speed rail and Hyperloop is really in the economic viability. The moment you have, as I said earlier, a system that actually generates income rather than just costing something,
right.
Even developing nations, right? They don't have infrastructure, but they don't have infrastructure not because they can't afford the billions of dollars to build it. They don't have infrastructure because they have to maintain it. We're spending billions of dollars in Europe, for example, to maintain the rail system. But now if you build a system that actually generates income, all this changes. And now countries and continents that never had infrastructure can actually jump and can build something to be profitable on something like Los Angeles to San Francisco with a $30 ticket price within 8 years.
Within 8 years.
Correct.
How did you come up with this number? Because at this moment, we are only seeing at the primitive stage the technologies and also some of the test runs. That's not even with your company.
We have developed all our technology, or actually most of the technology was already developed. We presented months ago roughly our levitation technology, which is a passive technology that was developed by Lawrence Livermore Labs, one of the national research labs in the United States. We have all the numbers in terms of for production. We know how much the pylon cost us, we know how much the tubes cost us, our propulsion levitation system. We're now in the process of building full-scale capsules. So we have all those numbers, and then we took, in terms of a business case, the air travel between Los Angeles and San Francisco, calculated very cautionary a percentage, not even all of it,
right.
Of that travel data, and that's how you get the number.
What are some of the important timelines, according to you, that we need to look at? The building of the capsules, when is it likely to be finished, and the test run?
We are now in the process of, we have two projects at the moment. We are in Quay Valley, Kings County, California, where we filed our building permits. We did mapping and surveying of the area. We're preparing everything for breaking ground later this year. 36 months from that is when we will be open to the public. We also made an agreement with the country of Slovakia and are now looking into a route locally in Bratislava with a future vision of connecting Bratislava and Vienna. So obviously the next steps now for us is breaking ground. We are, by 2019, you should be able to use the first Hyperloop. We are in negotiations with 14 other countries.
But Dirk, you know this, that technologies happen very fast. One idea overlaps the other, just like that.
So right now we're talking about 3 years, so 36 months until we can use the first Hyperloop. And in the meantime, we already will be implementing new systems. However, innovation is part of it, right? Innovation is, I mean, you always have to try to disrupt yourself. That's really what we haven't done with the rail industry. The rail industry hasn't developed really over the last 50 or 100 years. Maglev is a technology that was developed in the 1930s. The first prototype was done in the 70s. I mean, in the last 50 years, we can do much, much better. So we have technologies. And so, yes, I mean, if there is a better technology, or hopefully we come up with even better solutions, that's actually our goal. So, you know, we are the first ones that want to disrupt ourselves and build every single system that we build should be better, should make more money, and actually be more pleasant to ride.
What do you make of new technology availability and innovation vis-a-vis competition within one small pool, it seems?
So, you know, we started back in 2013, and we realized that in order to make this happen, you had to make it into a movement. So for almost 2 years we were alone, and our company is built through collaboration. We have more than 550 team members all across the world. We work with universities, we work with some of the largest companies in the world. So Oerlikon Leibold, for example, the inventor of the vacuum pump, is part of our company. We believe in open innovation. We believe that we haven't innovated in rail for almost 100 years, really. So we need to come up with new solutions. Earlier you asked me what are the problems that we're facing in the future, and I think one of it is to, it's not only about moving you from point A to point B in a very fast way, but if it takes you an hour and a half to get to the station, for example, you're not going to use a system very often. So we want to build something that you use every single day, several times a day. It's about passenger experience. It's about obviously monetization, different monetization models, making it economical viable, actually making it interesting for investors.
And we see several players already. Of course, Elon Musk, who originally put up with the idea and started the overall debates about this thing, is one party. And also you got your own competitors, as we mentioned earlier. You started, of course, a little bit earlier than everybody else when it comes to the company format. And also you got academic institutions like MIT who are very enthusiastic to work on these possibilities. So what do you make of overall these competitions?
You know, Elon Musk, when he came out, he said that he didn't have the time to work on this because he was busy with Tesla and SpaceX. And he has stated several times that he doesn't want to build a commercial system. He's supporting, however, the community and this movement that we have created by doing the SpaceX competition. So it's an open source competition to mostly inspire young engineers to work on something. And we're supportive. We are helping actually most of the universities. We have the Hyperloop Academy, how we call it, where we mentor them. MIT is one of those teams. In general, we work with a lot of universities, as I said earlier. So we actually have, in one of our alternative business models, we're working together with MIT on finding new ways of monetization. In terms of general competition, I mean, you have, I think, 3 or 4 companies by now, and I think that's necessary. Part of a movement is also that it doesn't depend only on us, that it depends on others. At the end, when you talk about regulation, you don't want to be the only person on the table, right? You want to sit down with your competitors and talk about those regulations together with who. So we met with the State Secretary Fox, for example. They're very supportive in terms of new regulations.
Dirk, you know this better than I do. I mean, technologies, many of them are already out there. They can create a lot of possibilities, even at this moment. Maybe they don't have a name yet, but they can create a lot of possibilities. The only thing is that whether they will be implemented, and they will be implemented within the current legal system, and they can be a possibility in negotiation with the current existing system, whether it's social or others. So when you look at Hyperloop, how much will this movement that you have just talked about be able to change people's mind?
I actually think it already has. As I said, we have at the moment 2 definite projects where we will be moving people.
Yes, but remember Concorde, they were also making a big splash internationally, and people were looking forward to it, but still it failed. So is movement the way out?
So No, I think it's really to look at those problems that you mentioned earlier. So you said Concorde profitability was one. That's an advantage actually we're having with the Hyperloop, where we are more interesting in terms of economic viability than existing railway systems. In terms of safety, we're 10 times safer than an airplane, for example. So the system is actually a better mode of transportation. So we're not trying, it's not about moving people fast. That's an important part, which a lot of people, you know, that's what excites them. But at the end, that's only one of the elements. You know, it's a lot more elements than just the speed.
Yeah.
So it's you know, I think the driver in the blue ocean is actually the fact to build a transportation system that has economic viability and it has the best possible passenger experience ever. Because right now, I think that transportation is broken. I don't enjoy going to an airport. I don't know if you do, but it's not a pleasant experience anymore.
It's great to have you, Dirk Ahlborn. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.